Hi, this is Samantha. In this video tutorial, we will show you the basics on getting started with using the HighOrbit Workflow Software. The first step will be logging into the HighOrbit web interface. Open your browser and go to stellar.highorbit.com. Use the company ID, username, and password you received in your welcome email. Once you are logged in, note the three main areas of the screen. At the top, you will see the menu. The left navigation area is used to manually start processes. The area in the middle is the task list and shows you a list of current tasks that fall into your area of responsibility. The menu will allow you to navigate to different parts of the software, look at different views of the task list, perform searches, change your password and settings, as well as administer your account. You can select condensed or expanded views of the task list, or filter your tasks by selecting one of the views. Under the search menu, you can find the status of running processes as well as exporting data. The Preferences menu gives you the options to change some of your settings, as well as the ability to change your password and time zone. The Reports menu allows you to see various reports on the status of processes you have started. The Admin menu is where you will create users' accounts, create groups and roles, and administer the software for your organization. For example, to add a user, select Admin, then User, then click on the Add User button. Complete the user's first and last name, email address, and select who the user reports to. You can use the randomly created password or select your own. Choose which groups and roles the user belongs to. Then press the Submit button to create the user account. The user will receive an email containing their login details. Roles define different responsibilities in your processes. A role might include a department or a group of people responsible for completing a particular type of action. To add users to roles, select Admin, Groups/Roles, then select the link next to the role you want to define. On the resulting screen, you can add or remove users from the role by clicking on the plus or minus button next to their name. Both users and other roles can be added to make up a new role. Be sure to click the Submit Changes button to save your updates. Going back to the main screen, you can manually start a process by simply clicking on an item in the left navigation area. Once confirmed, the system will start a new instance of that particular process. In many cases, you will immediately see a form appear after starting a process. Simply fill in the initial information on the form and select items as appropriate. Click on a button at the bottom of the form to move the process on to the next step. Once the task is submitted, the process moves forward. In many cases, a new task will be created and assigned to the appropriate person or group. If you are not a member of this group, you may not see the task appear in the list, but you can always check on the status by performing a search. Click on the Search menu item, then select Search. To find out the status of any processes you have started, select All Incomplete Processes in the Status area. Then select Myself in the Initiated By area. Then click Submit. You will then be shown a summary of the resulting processes. From here, you can see exactly what is going on with the process, who is currently assigned tasks, their due dates, and any updates that have been made to the process. With HighOrbit, not only can you run processes, but you can also modify and create your own custom workflows. To see how this works, let's open up the Workflow Design tool. This can be done by clicking on the Start Process Designer link in the left navigation area. In the Designer, you'll see a list of available workflows in the middle left area of the screen. To open a process, simply double-click on it and it will open up in the Designer. Go ahead and double-click on the To-Do process. Once opened, notice that the leftmost icon is the manual Start. This workflow action represents the link you clicked on earlier to start the To-Do process. To the right of that, you'll see the first task icon. This workflow action represents the first form you saw in the process after you started it. There are many other types of workflow actions, and each one performs a different operation in a workflow. You can learn about these other actions in later tutorials or in the Designer's Guide user manual. The task action can be assigned to the process initiator, a role, or person or group that is chosen as part of the process itself. If a task is assigned to a group, the task is available to any member of that group. Any member will see the task in their personal task list and can request ownership of the task to begin working on it. In HighOrbit, it is not uncommon for there to only be one person that belongs to a role. If you design your processes this way, you will not have to modify your process when users move in and out of the role as your personnel change over time. Processes contain data elements. These data elements represent all of the pieces of data associated with a process and are listed in the lower left part of the Designer. You can change a workflow by adding new elements, changing connections, or changing the properties of a workflow action. To edit the properties of a task action, simply double-click on it to bring up the property dialog. In a task, you can add or remove which data elements are visible on the form, or you can change the task's due date or who it is assigned to. When saving a workflow, the icon next to the name of the process will turn red. This indicates the process is currently in test mode. The original version of the process will continue to run unchanged while your process is in test mode. This will give you a chance to test it out before having other users start using the new version of the process. To test the process, select Test Processes from the File menu. This will open a new browser in test mode. The new window will indicate at the top of the form. Test mode works slightly different than the normal browser window. In test mode, you will be able to switch to a different user, and you will see what the task list looks like from their perspective. This will allow you to test out your process and see what it would look like from the point of view of all of the process participants. This testing allows you to work on a non-production version of the data and not interfere with any of the existing processes and data already in production. When you have tested your workflow to your satisfaction, you can deploy the process to production mode by right-clicking on the process in the Designer and selecting Deploy. Once a process has been deployed, the icon will turn green, and the new version will then be in production. For more detailed information on using the web interface, the Designer, or other parts of the system, see our website for more tutorials and documentation. Your process specialist will also be happy to answer any questions or help walk you through creating your own processes.